Well, howdy everyone, Cowy Average Sim Racer here once again. This time we're at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park for round 3 of the V8 Supercars in iRacing. I'm in the ZB Commodore and we're about to go out and do a few laps and see how we go. So we're on one of the public servers for practice service. So I think there's only 2 or 3 of us in here at the moment. But this is the new track for the week. So I'll go out and see if I can show you around the track a little bit, give you an idea what's coming up this week. Alright. Now it's been a while since I've been at this track. I think I did a Wheelie Bin Super 2 race a few weeks ago. So at least it's not completely alien to me, this track.
The track temperature is increasing. It's now 32 Celsius.
Oh, there you go, 32 degrees. Alright, I'll try and talk you around the track as best I can. It's got a couple of interesting spots. That double apex right-hander back there is probably one of the trickiest corners to get right, probably in iRacing, I would think. I know I struggle sort of getting through it and find myself coming back on the gas halfway through it, which is obviously not ideal. Oh, anyway, here we go. So this is the last turn. If you can, try and stay in third because you can get so much better a run out of there. Alright, you want to brake and try and hug as tight as you can here. Don't get on the gas too early. You shift back to fifth, but then you've got to go back to fourth. And again, this is one of those corners you want to straddle and try and get on the gas a bit better than I just did then. But anyway, and we're braking back to third. Again, trying to stay a bit tighter. The car just didn't want to turn in there, and I gave away a bit of speed. Alright, I'm going to follow this, stay in fourth. We want to brake into depression, back to third, back to second, back to first, and you find it's even then I sort of slowed down a bit too much and was getting on the gas. Alright, I don't know if I've got this the right gear ratio here. Let's see if we get anywhere near top gear. I don't think we do. Alright, back to fourth. I'm trying to keep some speed up here, and then back to third. Try and stay tight if you can. You could probably go back to second there, but I just find I seem to get better traction coming out of there. So you get a 1:19.7. I probably shouldn't have touched the gas halfway through there, but anyway. Oh. Didn't want to turn in then. So I just went back to second. Again, I mean, I'm definitely not your fastest out there. And at the moment, round 2 at Sebring, that was pretty much a shocker week for me. I will say that I'm not a fan of that track to begin with, but I didn't have much luck. I think I tried 3 official races and got punted in every single one. So, you know, what can you do, I suppose? Alright, try and stay tight here. And you can sort of get back on the throttle a little bit if you don't do stuff like that. Alright. Okay, well that was a bit silly. So let's go back out there and have another go at that.
Watch your speed.
Alright.
The exit looks clear.
Alright, so I'm sort of letting off or braking as you get to the top of that rise. I'm still trying to work out the best way to carry speed through there, so I'm going to try and stay tight here so you can get on the gas and use all the exit. I did a little short shift then, short shift to fifth, shift back to third, fourth, and in the depression. That's where you want to brake. Probably went a little wide there, but we should probably carried a bit more speed. But it's so easy to outbrake yourself, slide up over the top, and if you get too wide out there, you get on the gravel and you'll lose 2 or 3 seconds if you don't spin and go into the wall. Alright, so this one here, I'm generally shifting as soon as I'm getting a good look at the apex of the corner, trying to stay tight. I've just drifted a bit then, and that's what got us in trouble last time, so let's not do that again, eh? Alright. Okay. Probably getting a bit ambitious there. Let's try and take this a little bit more serious. I was trying to see if I could sort of power out of that slide then, and probably not a wise thing to try and do. These things have no traction control, no anti-lock brakes. Now you don't want to slide out there. If you get out on the grass out there, you're gone, and half the time you'll put it into the tyre barriers and you'll have damage, and that'll be the end of your race. Alright. So you can see then, even that line, that was pushing me out wide. So actually,
The track temperature's decreasing.
yeah, see what happened there? Now I only just missed that apex there, and see how it just straight away sent you up onto the outside of that double right-hander. And you get out there, it costs you seconds. So it's maybe even worthwhile, coming off a little bit as you go down that hill, just so you're not carrying too much speed into the first corner. Oh, that's a bit better. I think even then we're probably carrying too much speed there. Alright. Well, let's try a proper lap now, eh? So again, we're going to go down, stay in fourth brake. I'm probably cutting it a bit fine there. I don't think there's an off track for it though. Okay, the big advantage, I think, if you can get on the gas early there. We're down a little bit on our previous time, but I'm thinking I could probably shift the gear ratio a bit, because we're not getting anywhere near top gear there, and that's the only sort of place we're even getting into sixth. Alright. So I cut that a bit fine. Trying to find a line that's going to work to let me get on the power. I think this is the corner that benefits from just sort of slowing down. You can get sort of half on the throttle halfway through it, so I think the fast guys will be carrying a lot more speed through there than I am. Alright. I'll find I want to be in second by the time I'm turning there, but see, even then I'm applying throttle halfway around the corner. So that means I've slowed down too much. But at the moment, I'm not really sure how I can go in there harder, because the car just skips up over that rise. Back to third. We missed that apex there. That cost us a bit of time. Oh. Alright.
3-2, you're now 0.24 off the pace. Sector 1 is 0.
Oh, we took that corner a bit better there, not going too close to the wall.
Sector 3 time is quick. That was a 19.56.
Alright. Okay, we got a half decent exit there.
0.26 off the pace.
So it gave away probably about 3 or 4 tenths that time around that corner. So I'm still trying to find the best way to take that.
Sector 2 is 0.32 off the pace.
Yeah, so. Alright, so we lost some time there in the second part of that lap.
That puts you 1.6 off the leader's pace. Sector 1 is 0.26 off the pace. Sector 2 is 0.32 off the pace. We're 10th off the pace in Sector 3. That was 120.00.
Alright. Definite better run through that time. Right, at the bottom of the rise this time. Well, we didn't lose too much time then. Just found that I sort of tapped the accelerator a little bit just to keep the pace up, but I shifted back to first fairly early there actually. The car felt stable. This was an old setup that I just had to, change the perch spring for the last one. Sort of washed off a bit of speed there by taking that wide. We were about half a second up, probably into the 118s then, until we stuffed that.
You're currently 0.27 off the pace. 2/10 off the pace in Sector 1. Sector 2 time is good. Sector 3 is 0.34 off the pace.
See that there? Now, I've got a tyre on the grass there. I'll try a different line there, but so we washed a lot out. And that's, a couple more tenths lost then. Let's see. Alright, so I pushed that a little bit too much. Alright. And what we might do is go back to the pits, turn off fuel. Alright, so fuel should be off. Fuel is off. Well, it's cleared everything then. Let's go tyre set, and then I've got buttons to turn my tyres back on again. So that way I can use the clear all. And the only thing you've got to be careful of doing that is that the clear all also removes your fast repair. So if you're in a league race or something that offers fast repair, pushing it a little bit there.
Watch the speed. Watch your speed.
Alright. So we should have no fuel. We've got tyres on.
100 metres.
So all we're going to do is I've got 22 litres left.
50 metres.
So we're just going to do a quick tyre change, put some fresh tyres on, go out and see if we can do a hot lap. Again, it's 30 degrees on track at the moment, so I think it's got a little bit cooler.
Mid exit's clear. The leader is just on 118.37.
Oh, that's Daniel. What's he doing? Oh, we've watched wide now. Lucky, bit lucky there.
Got 10 minutes of fuel remaining.
Now, so as I said, I find if I'm shifting to second, just as I'm hitting that first apex, that seems to work for me. But I don't think it's the fastest way, because as I said, I'm finding that I have to apply some throttle in the middle. That's why I was going to change my gear ratio too. You'll probably use second there, but I find you can get on the gas earlier here if you get third right. Find you sort of milking probably a bit of both pedals there to maintain your speed through that corner. Sort of trail braking and then trying to thread back on and drive out of it hard without doing an off track, which I just did. Get on the throttle about halfway through that corner, driving out hard. We lost a little bit of time there. Oh, at the moment it's saying we're almost 4/10 up. Alright.
That's your best lap of this session. Off the pace. Sector 1 is 0.47.
I was on 119.2.
Sector 2, sector 3 is 0.
Thought we were going to do 118 then for a while.
Just done at 119.30.
So we can get another lap out of this.
Sector 1 is 0.7 off the pace.
Tried to jump on the accelerator as quick as I could then, and the RSN stepped out on me. Still a little bit up in my time. See, I'd like to get into the 118s before this session ends. Carried some good speed through there. Did we washed out a bit too much? Yeah, we certainly have. Yeah, so we lost 6/10 there. I've got 13 litres left, so we might be able to. Oh, okay. Alright, so I pushed that pretty hard there. Oh, guys, we didn't quite make it into the 118s, but I think that's coming. We've got more practice on this track. I suppose I better get out of the road before someone hits me. And we might pause that. What was my best lap? Was that 119.2? So that was lap number 9. So let's have a look at that from an external camera. I generally like using my bar chase and just adjusting the camera out a bit more. I don't know why, maybe Z a little bit. That should be good. Alrighty. This is lap 9, is it? No, lap 10. Let's go back to lap 9. Here we go. Alright, so we got a pretty good... So you see there I'm braking just as we get to the top of the rise. I was trail braking into the first part to try and get on the gas here. Now remember I pushed this pretty hard, didn't I? Tiny little off track there. And it meant I was a bit narrow. I want to lock that up. Locked up the front there. I'll probably play around with my bias a bit more. I didn't feel like the car was loose, but another little lock up. And locking up again. And this is the one corner I'm still struggling with it. And I suppose most of us are struggling with that corner on this track. It's definitely the tricky one. It's not a very long lap, pretty short actually. So it should be, you know, the official races I would say is going to be 35 to 40 laps. Now we're working the tyres pretty hard there. Might be an idea to have a look at tyre data too before we jump out of this session. I'm not 100% sort of happy with that setup, but it was okay. But you can just see where I'm putting the tyres under a lot of load, and they're shifting and sliding. What did the so 84% on the right front, 90 on the left front, 88 on the inside, so there's not much difference between left and right. It's a lot, I suppose both front tyres copped a bit more than the rear. How many laps did we do in that stint? We came back and started again, and that would have been that 148.38, so we only did like 3 or 4 laps on those tyres. So that seems a pretty high tyre deg, so might have to look at that and something with my setup, maybe just bring the bias back a bit. I'd say it's probably set fairly high. I didn't really make any major changes, just my the rear spring perch offset number, bring it back into spec. Yeah, so 52%. I reckon I can run 51 or maybe close to 50. So I might try that a bit later. But anyway, guys, there's a look at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park and the V8, and just finished with my big crash there. But this is Cowy signing off, and hopefully we'll see some of you out there in a race, and otherwise I'll talk to you on the next video. Cheers.